comprising of the youth, but many of them are not employed. But the problem isn't that we lack ideas. The issue is we don't have the capital to start up businesses. We don't have the mentorship. We don't have alternative financing models to help us prosper. In today's discussion, we're going to venture into finance. We're going to venture into youth startups. We're going to venture into businesses and how to make them very impactful to protect the society, but to also grow ourselves in the society. Which is going to take me to my very first question, which is going to be a very simple question, which is directed to Haj Bukalaba. The question is very simple. The question is very simple. How was your journey when you were starting your business? Can you take us back to what you thought of when you were beginning the business and how you managed to make the business very impactful currently in society?
Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have already submitted my request that I have only 10 minutes to be here. Please allow me to answer this question and take it as my full submission. From there, I'm going to be no more. There comes a time in a man's life where he lives minute by minute, hour by hour. And I think at this moment in my life, I'm living a supersonic kind of life. And actually, I'm so glad that Allah enabled me to be here. And I've got a feeling that actually I've already overstayed looking at my schedule. Thank you so much to the organizers, the youth who have found it very important to be here. We are living in a society where people haven't come to light, to understanding how important information is. I was watching a video and someone was explaining what is happening right now. Many people come to school, they are studying, and after school, they are told that they will need to find a problem, and when they solve the problem, they are going to get the money. But the guy was suggesting that what if you find a problem? Well, you are still in school and study about that particular problem. And when you go into the working world, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. Now, we have a problem where all the graduates are getting out, and what we are expecting from everyone. And therefore, I apply for this job. I can work under pressure. I am good. I am a good team player. It is a cliche. It is what everyone is doing. Now I understand the question was, how did you manage to do it? I went through what the society teaches us to do. Go read, get your degree, and go out there and apply for a job, which is normal. But there was something I discovered along the way. Well, I was at my job. And that is personality. That is character. As we chase our dreams, there's something I told people, that before you claim, make sure that you are deserving. Many people are trying to claim what they do not deserve. All the people up here who have done businesses will know that people will be looking for the house because they know that the house is a brand. Once you are in business with him, you are good to go. Now, after working for 19 years in the UK, I wanted to come here and start my own business. And I said to myself, there's no way I'm going to go and penetrate into the markets of Uganda using the same model everyone is doing. And what I did, I had to go sit down and start learning, and learning from the best. You see, when you tell people that business is too much psychological, they don't understand it. It is what they are told. They duplicate it in the real life, and it doesn't work like that anymore. You have to understand the trends. You have to upgrade according to the trends. Fine, you are in your university years. It is very well to get the education you have been taught. But the character you build within yourself, the amount of exposure you get is what the world is going to welcome. I came in here, I knew nobody, but I knew there was social media. And many people hadn't realized how powerful social media was. For those who had known it, they were misusing it. There's being useful to you and misusing it. Most of them were misusing it. They didn't know the power of it. And what I had to do now is to follow the model of the great L. Nightingale. He was teaching in a lecture like this one, and he told people a story of where someone sat in front of a stove, and asked for fire. He just simply laughed at him. He said that actually what you are saying is not plausible, it's not applicable. If you ask a stove to give you fire, and then you can give it charcoal or firewood, that is crazy. To make it logical, you have to supply firewood or charcoal, and then you can ask for fire. What we have here are people who get out with the certificates and they feel that they are entitled. They are going to apply and then they are going to get jobs. It doesn't work like that. First of all, there's no lecture you're going to attend where they are going to tell you exactly how your life is going to be and what you have to do. Should I say that once again? No one is going to help you 100% understand what you are going to do. But such lectures can help you only to come in contact with yourself, to realize who you are. The final part, the final person who's going to make it for you, who's going to make it happen, is going to be you. It's going to be your thinking, purely your thinking, because all the business deals are going to be closed by you. Not your friends who connected you, not your father, not your books, but it's going to come back to personality. Now, when I came in, I realized that real estate was still virgin. Things were happening, and I tried so much to get in connection with other people. But there's something that happens in the business world. You are told every day that you need connections. But let me tell you one thing I discovered during my journey. Before you can connect to someone, first of all, you have to be a contact. Did you get that right? You can look for Haji Bakaluba, you can look for Dalaus, you can be all you good, or you can be all good you want. But as long as I don't see anything that benefits me from you, we are not going to connect. It will be magnet on paper. You will just repel me off. Actually, you will be disturbing me. But if you become an expert, if you find out really, really what you want to do at an early age, you find a passion in it, where you can explain it to everyone who cares to listen as an expert, and you can be particularly known in that particular field, Money is waiting for you. What you see here is a brand. Whatever we talk about drinks, come on. Between me and you, we know that we are going to call for the louse. Haji Bakaluba has been in Uganda for only 4 years. But if you go into the real estate industry and mention the name, they will know the name. Now, what comes with that? First of all, it was the passion that was inside me. It built for over years. I was corrupted positively by my dad when it comes to real estate, and I took it over. But in addition to that, I knew that I had to be value added. With value addition was how I present my case. The moment you can learn how, let me tell you one thing I discovered about business. You can be doing the same business with someone, and someone will be paid way more than you're being paid. And ask yourself why. It is the way they present themselves. And one thing about people who give us money is until you make them feel that if they lose you, they are going to lose. Did you capture that? And if they lose you, they have lost. If you cannot make them feel like that, you are like anyone else. And you are going to be paid like everyone else. In real estate, I followed the model of Jack Ma, the Alibaba guy. This is what he said. Think of a business. You see, there's something that disturbs people when they are going to start business. It is the how. Okay? When we are deciding what we want to do in life, the how cannot be a determining factor, because the how is always a negative. Right? Whenever I come up with an idea and I really want to execute it, I'll think about it, thinking of how, not even thinking of how I'm going to do it, but it's the idea. I build the idea, because what Jack Ma told us is the bearer of the idea will always be paid more. But it is how you're going to start selling it. That's where the problem is going to be. Don't worry about the production. I can start a hospital. All I need to do is to have a good idea. I don't need to be a doctor. When I speak to people and I tell them that I have never sat into a construction school for even an hour, they won't believe it. But whenever they see like most of the beautiful buildings coming up right now, they will say, oh, guy, yamanyo kuzimba. It will be Haji Bakaluba. But guess what? Haji Bakaluba has never involved himself in the architecture drawings. He has never, he doesn't even know how it goes. But what he does, he came up with the idea. And he looked for the people who know how it's done. Okay? And the beautiful part about having the idea is making those who don't know how to come up with the idea work for you. And you always be the one who determines how much they are going to be paid. So what is the model here? Is our education system helping us? And if you really, really understand that it's not actually helping us, what is going to make you extraordinary to the point that you are more deserving than anyone else? A simple word to you, from me to you, is in whatever you do, to simply come up as an expert. It doesn't matter. You see, many people think that people who do things, they know how they are done. But you'll be amazed by how many people don't know how things are done, but they know how to put up a face. and they get the experience along the way. You see, all these politicians, my friend here has told me that he's going to stand, this coming year. But trust me, if you have a deep conversation with him, you will find out that actually he knows nothing about how politics is done, the administration. He has nothing. But the moment he submits himself to the idea that I can do this, and he convinces himself, it is simply standing in front of who gives it to you and demand for it. I'm going to conclude with a small story of when I went to Mengo Hospital. I had just started my construction. Now, this is for you young guys. There was a lady called Jennifer. She was sent to me. She was supposed to be the project manager. They saw me on social media and they wanted to give me this project. But they wanted me to go through the plan, make a quotation. And I said, all right, I can do that. I made the quotation, but trust me, I didn't know how professional quotations are done. And she was asking me, where can we meet? I said, you can find me here at Total Chanja. Where are your offices? I said, no, let us meet for coffee first. By then, I didn't have an office. And when she looked at the quotations, she looked at me and she laughed a bit. She said, Hajiva Kaluba, are these the quotations? I said, yeah. Okay. We'll see what to do tomorrow. I knew that, I wasn't professional at that point. But that didn't shake me because I didn't look for them. They looked for me. The following day, they invited me to go to Mengo Hospital. And they wanted, there's that area where they do the scan. Because of the radiation, the way they build it, it is so professional. They took me down there and I had to explain it to them how I was proposing it in the new structure. Remember, I was by myself. I didn't know how to maneuver from point A to point B. I looked at the structure like this. And I said, you know what? Why don't we just go to the old hospital? We go through that and then we can come back and, make a summary of what we are supposed to be doing. As we were walking up there, I went on Google. I started looking for information on how scan areas are built, which doors, and I was asking myself where they are bought. Google can give you all the answers you need. When we came back, we had to have a small conversation, of what was going on. And the way I sat and I looked into their eyes, and I heard the terminologies I had read from the internet, and how I was convincing them that the best doors can only be bought in Germany because the ones from China are not that good. They looked at me and the senior surgeon just said, you know what, this guy is good. He's good. I think, looking at what we had, this is what I was actually convincing people to do. If you're going for something like this, you need to have something of a better quality. And Germany is the best place we can buy that. When I got into my car, I was thinking to myself, boy, what am I doing? Like, how far am I going to pull this? Definitely, I knew if I got the contract, I'll have to source for the people who are going to do the job. I knew I wasn't going to do it by myself, but the first presentation, the breakthrough had to be done by myself. But sometimes such things are done. If only you have the passion, you have the confidence, if you learn from the best. I don't know whether any of you have ever heard of the guy called Andrew Tate. Very arrogant, very cocky, but he has got the information. That is a guy you cannot tell that you are not going to go through with such a deal. He will tell you that you are just kidding. It's done. Ladies and gentlemen, After 2 days, I got the contract. I got the contract, and my negotiations managed to go through when I was putting on a t-shirt and a pair of sneakers. So at times, it's not about how you present yourself. It's going to, where we have gone right now, business has been taken to another level, and business is going to be psychological. And you cannot think psychologically wise if you do not learn. Do you understand? Many people, for those who think are going to be the bosses, for those who find it so hard to think, are going to work for those who can think. And what the society has sold to the young guys. If you are young, you cannot do it. You need the experience. Just go and work for someone. Now, social media has given everyone a chance to put up themselves up there. But make sure that what you're putting up there is a character. A character which deserves. I remember when I started doing consultation, I was charging $100 per hour. I went to a point where I was charging 100 for 30 minutes. And then I went to 20 and I had to stop because it wasn't worth my time anymore. But remember, for 19 years, I worked as a security guard, working for $100 for 12 hours. What changed? What changed along the way there? It's up here. Because fear and confidence is all manufactured up here. I've stood on platforms in the US, Amsterdam, almost all of the Europe. And in MAKERERE here, I am today, talking to you guys who are holding, you are holding degrees. I hold none. I hold none. You know why? I never question myself. So my teachings are basically to empower people that things can turn from 0 to 100 within no time. The moment you decide that you can change, the moment you believe in yourself. You still have some years here. The years of the university are very meaningful to your life. The way you indulge in relationships, the way you go about in your social life, because the mistakes you make at this age will be waiting for you in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. I didn't mean to take much of your time, but I had to give you some of that. Maybe one day we'll discuss it with the guys here, and we have a small sit down. I believe for businesses to be done, you cannot teach people in 30 minutes, an hour, nothing like that. Because business has gone social. It is social, it is value. People are paying for value. I was telling someone, have I? All right, another 1 minute. I was speaking to a young guy like 3 days ago. And I had the pleasure of informing him that as we are seated here, we can call the same person. He can refuse to pick your phone call and pick mine. And I asked him a question, why do you think that's the case? I said, yeah, he will pick it because you are Hajiba Kaluba. I said, yeah, but what do you think is the case? He couldn't actually put it in words, and I told him this. He won't be picking up Hajiba Kaluba. He will be picking up the value that comes with Haji Bakaluba. That's why you see many people are saying that I'm being paid for 8 hours, and at the end of the month, I'm going to be paid 3 million. You ask them, you pose a question to them, what about your manager? How many hours does he work? They are the same hours. How much is he paid? He's paid 8 million. So what's there? You are not paid for the time. You are paid for the value you put in time. Whatever you do from here, think about value, because the world is going to pay you for your value. That's why I'm rushing, because I have to be somewhere, and time is valuable. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I have to exit before. I don't mean to disrespect, my other panelists. I wish I could stay here and we have a healthy, conversation, but I have other engagements. So thank you so much for allowing to speak to the young generation. If Allah has blessed you with such knowledge, it is our obligation to pass it over. And if we give it to our fellow Ummah guys, we are giving it to our own children. Thank you, and I wish you a good event. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry I have to dash.
Okay, thank you for that very insightful knowledge. We're going to move on with our panel discussion. Let us remember, we are keeping 3 minutes of speaking for each panelist so that we can keep time. The next question is going to be directed to Engineer Leila Mpanga. This question is also simple. It's a question about strategy. Growing a business and establishing a business takes strategy. What kinds of strategies have you used to build your business, and what would you tell the youths of today to engage in order to build the different startups that they have?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To the organizers of this dialogue, all members present, protocol observed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for this opportunity. I'll jump straight into it. Strategy is important, and people would give you so many pointers on what to do. I mean, if you Google, like Haji Bakalva said, the whole list is going to come out there. But strategy and all that we do is driven a lot by understanding what your direction is. What's important is you ascertain where you're going, You need to understand, what do you want to do? What do you want to bring to the table? And what will you need to bring to the table? My strategy has been continuing to define who I am and what I want to bring to the table. As Muslims, the one thing, and this I took from Steve Harvey, he once said that God has created within each one of us something, and that something is going to feed us. How do you identify that something? That something is your strength. Ya Rahman Rahimin, He is so merciful that, you don't have to sit there and wonder how you're going to put food in your mouth. He has granted you strength within you, but you have to sit and analyze what that is. Once you sit and analyze what that is, that will define what direction you take. How do you use that strength to cover a gap? How do you use that strength to to meet somebody's need, because business is about, you get paid for solving a problem. What is a problem? A problem arises from needs of different people. So how do you use your strength to satisfy someone's need? That is where you start when it comes to strategy. And that is your capital, for all those who are wondering what capital is. I think I can, for 3 minutes, that should be.
Thank you for that very lovely insight. Let us also hear from Mrs. Mutesi Jauhara about the same issue.
Naam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The issue of having a strategy, I think it's you, the person who's going to start the business or who's coming up with the thing you're going to do. It's you, like you must have the passion to do it and the love, and that's how you will know how to start the thing you want to start. For example, a business, let's say I'm in the baking business. You want to start baking. Make sure that you have the passion. Make sure that you look at the people around you. Can you see that you have a market? Like you will get clients? Yeah. So it's always you and you and you. Yeah.
Thank you for that wonderful insight. The next question is going to be directed to Dr. Zainab Nakabuye. In many circumstances, you might have a strategy and you might have different individuals who are willing to buy from you your products, who are willing to take things from you. But the issue doesn't always come down to people being willing to purchase from you. It's always about where you get your income, where you get your funding, where you get your finances. So as a young entrepreneur who's starting up their business, what kinds of financing models that are alternative to conventional loans would you give me to start my business and to grow it?
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Raima, for that question. Dr. Zaina, as you had been introduced, I have two businesses. Of course, I'm a lecturer here. The students that are in Makerere know. I'm a lecturer here in the School of Business, but I also practice what I preach. I have two running businesses, A&Z Deco, and then Medina Tea. Medina Tea is just outside there, and then A&Z Deco is what did this, but of course, at a very low price, and not no price actually. So because it was short notice, that's what we did, and with a very limited budget, as we know. So I wanted to give that background so that you know where I'm coming from. So Raima says, where would you get the money? As a lecturer, I get a small amount of some salary. So what happens is I saved, of course, and started investing little by little. But as an entrepreneur in other spheres, I was helped by family. I had this passion, for example, deco. I like beautiful things, anything beautiful. Even when you have an earring that is beautiful, I'll notice it. If you have a ring that is beautiful, I'll notice it. If you have a good shoe, even if you're a man, I can tell so-and-so's shoes are nice. So-and-so smells good. So-and-so has a nice this and nice that. So I have that keen eye on beauty. So beauty inspired me, and because in Uganda we love to party. We love mikolo. Every weekend there is a mukolo. Now for a big family like mine and his, I come from the Kasuja family, and he comes from the Kamlegea family, and somehow we have intermarried among ourselves. But almost every weekend he will testify, we have a party of some sort. Like even tomorrow, we have an Idi after Sitat. My sister just created Idi after Sitat. Yes? So any chance to party, a Ugandan will party, which is a good thing, because when we eat food and all our stomachs are full, we enjoy, we are joyous, etc. So what happens is when there is a party, we need decoration. We need to put something to show, to put the vibe. So first of all, I had always had that at the back of my mind, but I was, of course, teaching, I'm already a lecturer, and people think you're content, but you're not content. You need multiple sources of income. As an individual, because you're letting out so much money, you have school fees, you have water bills, electricity, rent, this, that. Since you're taking out money in multiple streams, you need also multiple streams coming in. You understand? So salary is never enough. Even if you get the best job in the world, even if you get, I don't know who gets, like in Uganda, we have that whole thing of, maybe the ED of KCCA makes a lot of money, 37 million or what. That's 37 can never be enough for her level. Once you get to that level, you realize maybe the clothes she's wearing are 4 million each piece, a hijab like this, 5 million, 6 million. So somehow in the end, money is not enough. So you always need multiple sources of income. So I knew I had to start business somehow. So my wedding was in 2018. And I had a decorator friend, actually. I usually like supporting my friends because I teach about SMEs, entrepreneurship, etc. So I always wanted to support a friend, but unfortunately, she disappointed me on my wedding. She got a mishap. She was, I think, subcontracting someone. It came out badly. Later on, I got someone to help. My siblings got, I was a bride. I couldn't do much. But because my deco was so bad, I said I should solve this problem for someone. I should be able to be that dependable decorator where once you give me a job, I'll do it to the best of my ability. Not at such a very high cost, but to the best of my ability. And that's where the dream came from. The next year, 2019, I decorated my brother's wedding at only 7 million. In the deco world, 7 million is very little money. I didn't get any benefit, but the fact that my brother trusted me, he said, she's my sister. So the other siblings would whisper in his ear, you're going to blow your wedding. Deco is important. How can you give it to Zaina? She has never decorated. He said, I trust her. And guess what? I come after him, and we're always at loggerheads, fighting. You know, like when you follow each other, we always fought, always for the remote, for a pillow, for anything small we fought. But the fact that he trusted me, I made sure I do everything to the best of my ability. I got from different places, and I pulled it off, and the wedding was a success. Ever since then, in the deco world, I've never looked back. Besides that, his 7 million, yes, I used it all. I didn't even invest much, but because I had a passion, he started sending me lighting, the power cans, the moving heads, the lights that we use. Because he sees them on eBay, he stays in the UK, so he sees them on eBay. So whenever he sees something that is in deco, he'll take a photo and tell me, do you need this? At an affordable price. And he'll send them. So family, if I go back to Raima, sorry if I go a bit off, but family is the most important. You just tell your family, your friend or your family, your idea, and they'll help you. They'll give you some little money, and you don't have to start with a lot. Yes, you don't have to start with a lot, just like Mr. Mbaraka Karunji said. You just need to start. So the idea is start. So family can give you money. Then if you're doing a job, all of you are going to get bachelors, etc. You can start with an ordinary job, and then that job, the money they give you is what you put into the business, and later on you'll be deliberated, and you come out. So thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful submission. The next question is going to go to Mr. Lutale Dalaus. The question is about financing too. How was your first step like when you were starting your enterprise? What major setbacks were there, and how did you overcome them?
Dalaus Lutale is my name. Dalaus Lutale is my name. I come from Butambala. Wow. The first stages in terms of financing and what were the challenges. In terms of financing, Me, I used the resources that I had. Like she has told you, I'm from a family of 37 kids from one man. My number is 37. So I'm the last born. That is already capital. Even if everyone gives you 10,000, you're good to go. That is already capital, even if someone markets for you in their other people, because everyone has a network. Behind me, there are people that Dr. Zaina doesn't know. There are people that Muhammad, there is a network behind every person's back. So, me, I was selling soda and water after my Mumsa's death. My job came from juicing for my dad. He was being hospitalized, and then I was juicing for him. Juicing is medicine. It is the new normal. Things are trending, things keep on changing. So I was doing that for 9 months in my senior 6 vacation. When I started campus, I had to go away from the hospital. I had applied for law, but I was not able to go for the pre-entry exams, so my second alternative was development economics, just right here. I had some GRCs, I would like to inform you, so I was the 75th Guild Representative School of Economics, at the same time Minister, International Affairs students, together with this honorable gentleman, Senkongo Hassan. I'm so glad to be part of the panel. All I can say is I thank Allah for the milestone. Indeed, it's been a journey. Everyone has a different background. We all come from different backgrounds. We are at university here. I had someone coming from Mubende, from Metropolitan University. People come from different sorts of backgrounds, but you quite know what happens back home. Back at our place, I was treating Mzee. I was using a blender in the hospital, but it so happened that when I was starting my second year, he passed on, unfortunately. So the same blender I was using home was still there. The same buckets I was using, because I used to make in quotes the nutritious juices, those detox green juices, spinach, celery, cucumber, green apples, blah, blah. But of course, for his, it was that, and for the juicer, it was a different recipe with sugar. So it so happened that by the time I started selling sodas and water, the reason as to why they asked me to sell the sodas and water, every time I could go down one day opposite the small gate, I was doing the program. So lunchtime I used to go to my sister's boutique down there in one day to eat lunch. You know, last bones. So she was like, "Dara usingulira ku mazzi wali, get me a castoni." Nebakuwayo nawe akaasa naye weegulire. So I was like, why don't I start bringing these drinks closer? Instead of me taking money to these shops, why don't I just bring these drinks? So I talked to my mom. Nampola ku mabugo ge emitwalo 7. So I bought a small fridge with rollers down, so I could slide it inside in the evening, and in the morning I slide it outside with those rollers in the boutique. I was a GRC, so I told my guild president, by that time it was Adeke Ann Ebajo, and I was like, in our sessions we should be taking juice. We should advance from the carbonated drinks to the natural and fresh. And you have the juicer in the house. I need to start bringing. And these people were like, "Hey, Darausi, our honorable is doing juice, kindly applause him, we need to support him." And they started to buy the juice. And by the time, they were like saying, Darausi, that is where the name came from, Darausi juice, which is my name. So I started like that, slowly, at the boutique, at the sessions, at the canteen, swimming pool canteen, just around here. The examples around here in my second year, first semester. So the reason as to why I'm giving you this story is, in front of me, there's an audience of campus people, literally the youths. It is not so far. The stories that Haj Bakaluba has been talking about, they are just in front of us. using university power in Mitchell Hall, using university water, using my small percolator in my small room, boil the water, blend the juice, put it down there at the boutique. So I had the resource of the premises in terms of finance. I had the resource of the inputs in terms of materials I use, the blender, the buckets, so the sieves, name it. So slowly by slowly. Never underestimate those humble beginnings. People are here and you're yearning to get jobs of 500,000, 1 million. At the moment I land on a job paying me 1 million, I'm okay. This is everyone's dream. Are you seeing the difference from the last panel that was here and the panel that has been here? The last panel, all gentlemen had suits. That is the corporate world. Now we are talking about business now. And I tell you what, these are the bosses for the previous panel. Why do I say that? There is no way they can be in leadership without business people. There is no way you can lead people without the economy. And it is the business world that runs the economy. So there is always that unutilized resource back home. Your dad built a garage without a car. What are you doing with the garage? You have a skill of mcharo, orima, orimchibuga, omazo kusoma, hodde toyagala kuddayo mcharo. Okay, in the holidays, go back home, osimba omusiri gwa kasooli. Those 3-4 months you are in campus here, 1 semester, by the time you go back home, kasooli wajja kuba akuze. There is a resource of land back home. There is a resource of people. You know those people in the villages, someone digs for you a full acre and you give him just a bunch of matoke and maybe 10,000 shillings. Cheap labor, and they are always available. Which more businesses are we looking at? Which art students? There's a time I was discussing with photographers and I was like, these cameras are here and they are very good. You can get money out of them. But how about if you be unique? No cottage fanani and a piece of paper. The time I've sat here, an artist would be done with my paper. Normal art with a pencil using your hands. You know money is in our hands here, but we don't utilize them. A photo that is taken by this modern camera can go for maybe 50,000 or 100,000 in a frame. And a frame done by hands in a pencil can go times 5 or 10, the same. It is the same type of job in a different way and a unique concept. I don't know if you're picking what we're talking about. By the time I started selling juice of 1,000 shillings in a glass, over the time, that was 2011, over the time, I now bring life to a glass. And there's a glass I sell at 1 million shillings. One glass like this. I don't know if I have some clients here or if I ever served your family. I served on his wedding just previous. In fact, he bought 2 glasses, his and the wife. So what am I talking about? Personal branding. You're going to sell a product or a service, but what is your personal character? How do you move? How do you dress? Simple things we start with right now. You're sleeping here at campus, in your hall. How does your room look like? Do you even nail your bed? Do you even brush your teeth? How do you move? Even if you're putting on one shirt every day, how clean it is. So that personal branding, by the time we point at you and we are like, Yusuf, you're going to lead us in this. There must be attributes that we attach on Yusuf before you assign him a certain character. So only that is capital. Don't look up, nonyo mtu ampora milioni 5 and I start up something. Dr. Zaina told us that she's getting income from her lecturing sessions. Before any job, look around the people. Everyone here has MTN and Airtel, full of contacts. That is capital. Do all those people know that you have pancakes in a certain hall, maybe Mary Stewart or complex? Do even people in your phone book know that you have pancakes in your room and you can deliver in your lecture room anytime? Do they? Or because you're at campus? That is money. And again, no kukuve mi gonti osise sumbo some room. And no one. You have phones, you have all their contacts. That is capital. Business kijobakola. Omutwe gw'essimu gwejjudde, Airtel ejjudde, that is 1,000 contacts. Do they all know? Or you just keep on posting, weekend well spent. Spent on what? Weekend well spent on my pancakes. Everyone does those pancakes, but how unique are you doing it? Which kind of marketing, which kind of branding? So from the humble beginning of one person like this, your roommate, from your neighbor up to other halls, you guys can be billionaires. And trust me, I'm now talking to my fellow millionaires because I was a CEO in my second year. So that's what I can say about the capital and financing. The resources that are around us. Throw a torch back at your background of our ewamwe muinayo chichosobola otandikirayo. As small as that, abantu bo bennyini ye capital. She's been talking about the family. That is capital. Unless if you're not a social person. You have friends here. You're at campus. You're in a class of 300 people. Bakuyambirawa. He was at Mumsa with me. Up to now, we still support each other. He's an engineer. He installs cameras. He has electronics. He's into construction. He's now into leadership. There is no way that can go without him buying juice from me. There is no way I can hold the phone without coming from his shop. Because of friendship from university here. So as you go for a coffee club, I don't know if it's still there, the tea club at the mosque, interact. What can you do? What are you best at? What's your passion? Discover yourself right now. I made this the primary goal of learning. Start up something and we get to know your address. At this age, we need to know nti oli guy atunda amasimu, oli guy atunda enkofiira. People have veils here. Those veils always have pins in them. Kale katukumanye nti gwe otunda pini is a veils. Start up now, because from 1,000 you can get yaka 10,000. From the 10,000 you can be a millionaire at one point. Amanyi abagalina. That is now a resource. Because when you talk about resources, from the premises, from the labor, everyone who starts a business thinks of njafuna yo mwana wa senga nakola business. And you're there, what are you going to be doing? You cannot think of being a CEO when you don't know how to clean your area. You cannot think of being a CEO when you don't know how to recept people. Like, when I start talking about business, naye nsaba tutandike kati. Myai used to be a gearasi, nenga sina kasente mu nsawo. Nga nsitula ebidomola byange from one day, they don't allow borders in MAKERERE, nenga abantu bansekera. By the back of my mind, I knew nti at the end of the day, when I collect 10,000 from this canteen and this, I get my 30K. Now, from Buoyantle, I could go down in one day gear with that rolling chicken, and you, the GRC, who says that in suits we don't carry those jerrycans, you're hungry. Thank you very much. Maybe we can continue from there.
Hey, thank you for that very lovely insight. We're going to have one more question, then we move on to Q&A session from the audience. And let us keep it timely and short. So the question is directed to Mr. Baka Hamza. Your businesses cater for specific needs within technology. What gap did you see within the market that inspired you to venture into that business? Let's keep it short to 3 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As said, my name is Baka Hamza, commonly known as Graphic Hub. My business caters for design needs that is incorporated with technology. And what did I see in the market, a gap that I saw to be able to start this business? Basically, I interest myself in politics. And politics goes hand in hand with branding, posters, t-shirts, reflector jackets. And you find that every person that goes into politics, they will need someone to design for them a poster. They will need a reflector jacket for their campaigning team. They will need shirts to give to their voters. So I utilized that chance to move along with these tujita gali, like the campaigning teams of those people. And then I could say a word that I can do that. I can do the tags, I can do the posters, I can design the poster, I can print the tags. And that's how I managed to penetrate into that. And later I started as a graphic designer initially, but then I looked into how a unique of a graphic designer I can be by providing what I've designed into a tangible format. So I designed the poster, then put it on a tag, and then delivered to you a tag that has been designed by myself. And later I went on to Mini Price, Nassau Road, and did surveys, and so that I could do them myself. Like Mr. Daus, I said, I'm a 27th born of 30 children. So the initial money that I got to buy some of the machines that I use for printing, I raised from a WhatsApp group. I said, I'm starting my own, like a small business. So I need a machine of 1.2 million. Please help me. We normally collect amabugo. So I use that kind of language in tusondera abantu abafudde musondereza nga nkyali mulamu. I start my own business. So that's how I managed to talk to them. We raised some money. I had some saving. I was working as a casual worker earlier. Then I had some money. I topped up and I bought a heat press machine. So that heat press machine bought a computer. The computer bought a plotter. So I now have a setup of an office at Mini Price where I'm not under pressure. I go print for some people and then come back. I realized that I cannot be a foot soldier with these people. I have to bring something. I have to get from them. I don't want the 10K after the rally. I need to have my own money from this campaign. So I was a foot soldier who was providing the material, the campaign material. That's how I managed to take on this business. But I also saw my friends, people have birthdays and then they want a shirt branded happy birthday to me. They want a banner behind happy birthday friend. They want to gift their loved ones a bangle that has their name. So that's how I started penetrating. You send a poster in the WhatsApp groups, and then someone says how much, you negotiate, and then they buy. I'm a fine art student in my final year, and I'm not looking for a job, alhamdulillah. That's how I started humbly. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, thank you very much for that lovely insight. We're going to move on to a very short Q&A session. We shall take a few questions from the audience directed to each individual. We shall answer these questions in 1 minute of time. So let us start with the Q&A session by raising our hands.
Thank you, Madam, for the opportunity to raise my question. The question goes like, each and everyone was talking about the story or background of his development. But the question that I have, what inspired, what you determined on, what inspired you to do that such a business? Because you are talking about the background, but not talking about the inspiration. Are you getting my question? Like everyone was stating about the background of his business, but not talking about his inspiration, what inspired him or her, but talking about the background. Thank you.
Okay, so the first person who's going to answer this question is going to be Engineer Leila Mpanga. Let us hear your submission to this question.
I actually thought the doctor was bullying me, but then you chose me again. So alhamdulillah. I pray Allah gives me the right answer for you. Like I said, some things are deep. So we will all have different types of inspirations, okay? I think for doctor, it was our event that woke her up. She was inspired to give people better service, better decor, because of the failed decor that was at her wedding, which is very pivotal for her. Yes? And for Mr. Delaus, it was again his father's illness. He learned that he could make juice, not just for his sick father, but he could sell juice to other people. That was his inspiration. I am an educator. My inspiration, I believe, I inherited from my grandfather. My grandfather was not educated formally, formal education, but Allah blessed him with rizq, and he went and built different schools in different areas of need for the Muslim Ummah. So my father was an administrator for most of these things. And as he went for those things, I went with him. And I went there willingly. He would say, I'm going to the school. I say, I'm coming right with you. And I enjoyed when children would come and they would sing, you are welcome, welcome, welcome. And for me, it was more than that, but I didn't know what. I was too young. I grew up. I had, as you can hear, they're calling me an engineer. I've gone through seasons of, I wanted to be a medical doctor. Then from there, I wanted to be a chemical engineer. And then I realized maybe at that time, because we didn't have oil fields, chemical engineering was a bit advanced. So I was directed to do, I was inspired to do mechatronics engineering, which I did and came back. But even through all of that, as I studied, I was studying away, I was in Malaysia, I used to go to schools to see how they were, because Malaysians mostly study in their local language, which is Bahasa Melayu, but then they then have to teach English to their children, right? So I went to schools that I felt were doing, I was attracted to schools that I felt were doing something different, okay? So fast forward, that whole time I'm being inspired on my journey of education, yes? I came back here and interned, as in my line of engineering, I interned at Coca-Cola Industries. And then I knew, this is not the place for me. My energy was not, it was not locking there. So I told my dad, I don't think I'm going to do engineering. He said, what? After I put so much money in you like that, I said, you educated me to empower me. So I came back after I finished my degree, but I came back to start my own school. When I came back here, my partner now had already delivered and she had a child who was going to one of the Muslim schools here. But both of us had studied out of the country and we wanted to give our children the same experience. So we said, we wanted to give our children, as Muslims, a home where they were free to belong, okay? And they were able to get a top-notch education here in our very own Uganda. So we decided to form and start an international Muslim school. Then we started as a nursery school. Now we're nursery, primary, okay? And our dream is that we'll go all the way. That is nursery, primary, secondary, tertiary, until the college level. So my inspiration is innate, I believe, and also is due to the need for a Muslim child to have a home and have international methods of being taught. I hope I answer your question.
Thank you very much. Let us have the last question of the discussion. Let's speak from a lady.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So my name is Nakato Thera Kaoya, the Vice President, IE Females Campus Kawaja. So my question goes to all the panelists. We are in a generation where we are having, like you telling us different things and we are copying them. In regards of everything around the society, the economic way of living, my question is, how are you coping up with competition, the challenges that arises maybe due to economic instability, maybe due to finances, maybe due to different diseases like COVID-19? How are you coping up with everything after being in an environment where everyone is doing the same business like yours? How are you being unique in your own way of treating the customers? Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, I think that question is very wonderful. I think what we're going to do right now is that each panelist is going to use this question and answer it and give their closing remarks so that we can wrap up this session due to time constraints. So let us start from the far end of the panel.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for the question, my sister. And I would say that you should always fear to be average. And that has kept me resilient, that even when I have a lecture and I have a client that is waiting for me, I'll explain to the lecturer that I have the coursework, but I'm running to something to attend to. I try to explain, I balance between. And then this customer will be satisfied. The lecturer will be also, I have attended his lecture, but I've also attended to my own business. So resilience and not giving up, there are challenges that come in and you feel like, Mfachi. Because I'm young, I have my sisters, I have big sisters that are over 60 years. They can take care of me, but then I don't want to be average. I don't want to be that person. So when I remember that I do not want to be that person, then I keep on going and going. My name is Baka Hamza, and I don't want to be called a CEO yet. I'm the founder of Graphic Hub, where we deal in printing and graphic designing, and very soon we are launching our digital marketing business under Graphic Hub, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for that lovely submission. Let us have Ms. Mutesi Jauhara with her submission and her closing statement to the audience.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think when we are doing business, we all think about something that will make us unique. You look for something that you will give to people, and they will be like, yeah, the cake is different. The cake is not like other people's cakes, you know. So you try to be extraordinary. You try to look for those unique designs. When you're designing your work, you try to get something unique. And the way you speak to customers, the way you handle your clients, and the things you use, you might find that everyone, let's say everyone is using, let's say, Blue Band. I'm sorry, njogera mulimira baking, but because it's what I do, yeah? So you might find out that everyone is using Blue Band, and you say, let me use butter because it's richer and it will give me a more rich cake, yeah? So, and that means that butter will be more expensive, but the price you put to your products, the person needs to see the value of their money. The person needs to see the value of their money. So when you say that cake goes for 100K and the other person is selling it at 50K, they'll be like, I'll go back and get the cake at 100K just because it was different and the way she talked to me and the design was unique. So we have to be extraordinary. You have to look for something that makes you unique in your business. And that's how you will thrive, bi'idhni rahman. My closing remarks. My name is Mutesi Jauhara. As the moderator has already said, a former student from here, I'm an alumni from MOOC. I did education, and I'm one of the former chair ladies marriage halak in Mumsa, so I was part of Mumsa. Yeah, Jawis Retreats has been there for 2 years, and we are moving our third year, but we are thriving. We can see where we are going. Yeah, thank you so much for listening, and thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for that lovely remark. Let us have Engineer Leila Mpanga with her closing remarks and her submission for the question.
Thank you very much. My submission for the question is, on top of what the rest, my colleagues have said, for example, resilience, and then she said you need to be extraordinary, give people value for their money. The next thing is business can be lonely. Don't sit there and be an island. Don't try to figure it out alone. Try to get into networks that match your values. Business is easier when we do it with others. Business is easier when we seek advice from others. Business is easier when you seek advice from people who have been there already. Always seek guidance, always seek mentorship. Get into networks because, like Mr. Delausi said, it takes, I connect with Doctor. She might be here at MAKERERE, but because she's at MAKERERE, she's a hub of network. Yeah? So networks. So I say, okay, please help me with, connect me with education, something. She'll do it, Go back, for those who are here in university, go back to your alumni. I'm very proud that we have three Nabisunsa girls here. Nabisunsa girls, we've got our own Old Girls Association that is doing very well in networking, and, I'm here, I was invited because of a Nabisunsa girl. Okay, so go back to your alumni. Those two are very strong networks. They will help you. Those who are in school now, please endeavor to have a good character. That will be your leverage to go back. People don't want to go back to where they're spoiled. So when you're a good student, when you behave well in school, you want to go back to your alumni. So for me, don't let don't be lonely. Go out, reach out for networks that would be helpful and match your values. My parting shots are, your dreams are valid. No matter how big or crazy they may seem, as you chase your aspirations, remember that your legacy isn't just about what you achieve as a person, but about the impact you leave on the world. Leave a mark that inspires others, and never let anyone diminish the power of your imagination. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for that very lovely insight. Let's now have Dr. Zainab with her closing remarks and her response to that wonderful question.
Thank you. The question, I'll add my voice to the others, but mine is passion. Have a passion for whatever it is you're doing. If you love what you're doing, at times, I'm on site. We call them sites. When you're decorating, we call it a site. I'm on a site for 3 days. You could find me at Misteel for 3 days and nights. At times, I could be having a baby. I'm a Nalongo. So at times, I could even be having a baby, and I have to run back home, breastfeed, and come back and tell my husband, stay with the baby. Yes? And by the time my mother leaves her child to just go and do what she's doing, it's not just money, it's passion. It's love for what you want. So when you're looking for the idea of business that you want to do, please look out for that thing that you like. Usually I talk to the client, whoever has a wedding, usually the women are the ones who love weddings more than the men. Usually I'll talk to her and find out what her dream is. What did she really, really want? So while I'm doing this work, if anything goes wrong, I always feel bad to shatter that young girl's dream, because every girl plays as a bride and walking down the aisle, etc. So because I have passion, I'll be there at 3 a.m. and I'm at La Jola, I'm in Garuga, I'm in a weird location, yes, with mosquitoes biting, yes, with the casual laborers, and it's hard work, by the way, it's hard work. It's only after some time that I tell myself, sit down, you have workers, and then I start sending, because I'm not easy via sending. I'm usually very hands-on, but after some time when I really feel tired, I have now to send people. But you're with maybe an environment that you wouldn't want, as an Abisosa girl, like she said, but you still do it because you love it. So always have passion for whatever it is. Don't force yourself to do something you don't like. Do something you like, you do it well. That's my parting shot. And that's the same answer for her. As long as you have passion, you do it right and well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's have the final closing remarks from Mr. Lutale Dalaus.
Good enough, I was with Nakato. Was it last week at IU? According to the status quo, how do you penetrate this market amid the competition? Competition is very healthy, because there is no way we will sleep when there's a lot of competition. Every time you will need to wake up, create something new, think of something that has not been existing, bring in something that will attract those customers. First thing, you need to first know that not everyone is your customer. When I started my journey, I was here at Cobams, and I was selling at the canteens in Makerere. I no longer sell a glass at Makerere because my target market changed. Now my niche are in those people who are willing to pay in dollars even for the juice I do, because now the life that is in the glass is totally different from when I started. How unique do you want to do something you're going to start? You know, everyone is doing the same thing like you do, but how different are you doing it? Everyone makes juice, but I bring you good news that not everyone makes the lousy juice, because it's purely natural, it's purely fresh. We even attach values. You're not just taking passion fruit, but we even add some carrots, maybe cucumber, to at least cleanse your body. We attach something that will bring you to us. We bring you reasons as to why, if it's not the louse, you don't have anyone. But there are over 500 companies that do the same thing that I do in the central here. You're Kampala, Mukono, Wakiso. But why always clients having to come to Dalaus? How unique are you going to present the juice? You know, everyone makes juice. Even our mothers back home make the juice. But how are you going to make it? How are you going to brand it? Which type of glass are you going to use? Which type of jar? My team puts on linen shirts to serve juice. You must be having a very good event. Sometimes they can even wear more than the guest of honor. So you need to be very pertinent in each and every detail. If you're going to start up a business, you need to make sure that you stock all those who are in business. No way you can start a juice business when you do not know Dalaus. You need to stock Dalaus. What is Dalaus's weakness? Maybe he brings juice, but he doesn't provide ice cubes. Start from the ice cubes. That is how you're going to beat the competition. Everyone has a washing bay. How about if you just move door to door with brushes, liquid soap, and you wash those cars from people's homes? Because people complain of stealing fuel from their cars, stealing different items from their cars. Now, you're coming to beat that kind of competition. Move to people's homes. You're going to use their own water, use their own compounds after you clean. You know, you're bringing services very close to these people, and people are out there willing to pay for these services. We are here acquiring knowledge about the business, and you know, it is business at the end of the day. You're a lawyer, but after you create a farm, that is business. You're a doctor, at the end of the day, you create a medical center, that's business. At the end of the day, Furus, go to Nonya. My closing remarks, good thing we are all young Muslims here. Tutegeere nnyo eddiini yaffe byeyogera ku nsonga y'ebirimu gye tukola. Ensonga ya business, there is a definite explanation for each and every step. You don't start a business from haram money. Bakwadde sente z'abamulekwa gozezizza ogenda tandika business olwokuba ddala usiyayogedde naffe tutandike. Wabbye sente, you are unfair to someone, you want to use that money as capital. That's being unfair. Business eyo togisuubiramu baraka. Otandise business efuna sente towa musolo gwa Mungu. Zaka is part of the 5 pillars. Why not? kakati tutegeere emitendera Mungu jajja atugamba nti omusolo gwa cases etuguwa naye ate ne twerabira nti zaka tulina okukola ki okugiwa, and after omuliro we gwokya emmaali ng'otandika okukaaba ku tahajjudi Mungu naye ng'emitendera yagikola ki yagituteerawo. So let us know, twogedde ku kintu kya finance naye wano wennyini nga tolina 11 nga tolina muzadde agenda kuwola, start genda mu room y'omuntu omugambe nsaba kwoleza ku ngoye. Challenge with the youths nti twenyoma tuswala. I came from Sunsas, banda abatya abaana abava ekasawo nga njoze engoye z'omuntu. They are going to laugh at you, but they are the same people who are going to come back at you agambe man soko mpoleyo ko emitwalo 10 tushoni aganye mpolayo, but overcoach or cleaning a carpet y'omuntu mu room, because they are within the society. Mulimu abantu Mungu bye yasukulumya nga ye asobola okusasula within campus, nga asobola okusasulira gwe n'omuwoleza n'omulongoseza room nga buli weekend akuwa emitwalo 5. Who gets that money? Obadde otaddemu sente mmeka? So we are talking about things bye tulina bye tuwangaala nabyo wano. Do not think about the loans, don't think about the assets zoyina otunda, think about the things that we have now. You know, from that small business you can start like that, and then when people trust you doing a nice service, ogenda okulanga gwa ina best laundry in Kampala naye nga watandikira mu kooza ngoye z'abantu. Bino byenjogerako, I'm a testimony for it, because I started within my room in Micho, selling down there in Wandegear, selling to my Micholites in Makerere. The person talking to you right now is the State House juicer and is the State Buganda Kingdom and Toro Kingdom juicer. There is no big delegate that comes in Uganda and I'm not aware of their recipe that they take. All those 5-star hotels in Kampala you think about, the Lost Juice is the supplier. I know almost all ministers what they take. I know even up to now, even we going to a meeting now, there is a birthday for Nyerere, Julius Nyerere. Your father and neighbor celebrating every time. They have a ceremony in Kololo next week and they're like, the Laos, come on, we see. We have delegates from Tanzania. But remember the other person who was in Micho, in a small percolator, juicing from my small room. So those humble beginnings, we put less respect to them, tutandike kati. Our parents are doing business, but in an analog way. Kati mwe musomye. What are we using the social media for? To help them out. Bw'oba totandise ekikyoka letandika n'eky'omuzadde omuyambe. Timuzeye olina akaduuka kano, but we know what? We can deliver these items online. Olina placing ekintu, n'okikuba ekifaananyi. You have very good phones. What are you using then? Kakati tutandikire ku by'abazadde baffe, tubitandikireko oba oli awo Mungu ajja tuteramu baraka naffe tukole ki? Tutandike ebyaffe. Nsaba Mungu fena tuteremu baraka, aya after here tukomewo nga fena tulina sente nga tulina business ez'amaanyi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to the panelists today. It was a really insightful discussion. And finally, to the audience for listening in. My last takeaway is very simple. Sitting down there and listening doesn't enact the change that you want. It is the action that you're going to put in. Please take those words in. I remain Muhammad Raima, the Executive Director of Pulse for Change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Muhammad Raima. Please, a round of applause to our amazing moderator. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Mr. Daraus, I'm not a minister, but I want a glass of juice of 1 million. Where can I find it? Please.
And what happens if it is served by the Laos himself? There is an extra 1 million for it.
I'm paying for the brand ambassador himself. This man has really shared amazing insights that are very close to us. Please let us appreciate Daraus Lutale. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. Dr. Zainab, I believe you're the best lecturer of business because you speak from experience. Thank you so much for the insights. Engineer Leila Naluwoza, who are we to have you? A veiled millionaire. We are happy to have you here. Thank you so much for the insights. She's a full director of Harmony International School. Yeah, we want to appreciate our dear sister, Mutesi Jauhara. We have very many beautiful ladies here from IUIU. I'm sure you've been a great inspiration to many young ladies. Thank you so much for making time to pass by. My brother Baka Hamza, a foot soldier. There are many foot soldiers here who are just using their feet aimlessly. Thank you for being an inspirational foot soldier. We appreciate you all so much. We request that the team takes a photo before as we close this. We request that they take a photo. Please, I hope you don't mind standing up for a photo moment. The chief organizer of this event is my brother Shwaib. Shwaib, please come up here so that you take a photo with the panel that is just given us a lot of amazing insights. Let's do it. Let's keep it brief, please. The photography team, please. Keep it brief, keep it brief. Keep it brief. We've just learned that our food is ready. Our food is ready. But then we realized that the next panel is very brief. It's about 20 minutes. So we said, why don't we have the next panel for 20 minutes and then we just eat food, then go. So I really appreciate you for being patient, and I ask you that you be a little bit more patient for more 20 to 25 minutes for the next panel that is going to be really very brief. Then we shall go into our lunch, our late lunch. We are sorry for that. And then we shall depart after that. Thank you so much to the panel. Thank you so much to the audience. Thank you so much for your patience. I want to waste no time because we really have less time. The moderator I'm calling up here, who is going to be really very brief, is a fourth-year law student at MAKERERE University. He's the 2025 Ambassador of International Society of Human Rights. He is the Programs Officer at Lex Amica, a student-led center for Uganda's